Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are out there in the world. It's time for another episode of the SoundTraxx Soundbites podcast. This is subtitled The Train Talk from Milepost 141. And I forgot my paperwork, but I believe this is episode 39.
Yep, I think you're right.
I think that sounds right. So that was my fault. It's bad on me.
They can fix it in the editing if they have to.
Yeah, so I'll do like the old, what is it, the Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
When I put like I'll just talk and put like peanut butter in my mouth and make it look like I'm talking.
Like once for yes, twice for no.
Exactly. Well, it's been a very dry winter here.
Yeah.
We're recording this now in the middle of February, and it's been beautiful. But we're about to get a big storm next week. So
that's what they said. The guy on the phone said today, make sure we get that decoder out to me before the storm. It's like, what storm?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm thinking like I'm part of the problem because I went and bought snow tires first time ever for my truck when I moved out here. And now, of course, no snow.
There hasn't been anything.
Yeah.
Never fails.
So I'm just running these tires on the hard road, just eating them up.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, well.
So anyway, but sure as I didn't buy them, though, as sure as I didn't buy them, we'd be up to our neck in snow.
Yep, so. Exactly. So, well, anyway, with that, of course, there's a lot going on. We had the 20 here not long ago, and there'll be some more runs of the RGS 20 coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, so the good weather's been great for that, to get out and chase it.
Absolutely.
See it clear blue skies for photographs and everything. And I saw a lot of videographers out there, shooting video of it too. So
that's bringing them out. And the one that's coming up the weekend after we're filming this, the February 20th, 21st. So probably by the time you guys see this, it'll be after. But they're doing special photo specials.
Okay.
Doing photo runs, so you can jump on as the winter photo train. So that's always a fun trip too. If you've never been on one of those, you really should go on one of their photo trains. DNS does it first class.
I didn't do the photo train. I did the Cascade train, which it was. Mm-hmm. They said there was heat in those cars, but I didn't really notice it. I'm glad I had my sock hat on and a jacket on because I was pretty comfortable. But I thought there's a few people I was watching in the train that they were thinking like, I thought these things had heat.
Yeah. So well, let's see. So with that, I've been there's been a lot going on, so I haven't been doing much work. So for me, I brought this BNSF GEVO.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is you guys have seen this before. I did upgrade this to BlueNami. Unfortunately, it's the only one of my BNSF stuff that's actually been upgraded to BlueNami. I've been focusing more on my Missouri Pacific stuff.
Right.
As we should be, right?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't know. Who knew BNSF was a railroad?
Yeah, BNSF ain't a real railroad.
Mopac is Mopac and CB&Q.
And the CB&Q.
Yes.
So, but anyway, the reason I brought this one was it's not a new project, but I've been using it in our YouTube video series where we've been talking about how to use the app. We're diving deep into it. So if you guys haven't subscribed and checked into our YouTube channel lately, for those of you BlueNami guys, I'm going in and really showing you all the nuts and bolts of how the app works. Now, of course, I can't do that in one video. It'd be an hour and some change long.
Right.
But I'm going through each setting, each menu option, and breaking it up into about 10, 15-minute segments, just kind of showing you stuff. So we've got episode 1 up, and by the time this is posted, we'll have episode 2 up. And I'm just going through each page of the menu. So really showing you the benefits of going BlueNami because there is a lot of cool things that you can do with the decoders. And then especially once you factor in the BlueNami, it really makes it really come to life because now you can access it all without having to worry about CVs or calculating CV numbers and all this stuff. Or, we had a mutual customer this past week was programming around. We won't say his name because I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but he was only reading parts of a particular CV, like CV114.
Right.
And he set CV114 to 0 because he wanted to disable the auto start,
right.
Not realizing there were 5 other things
that he disabled.
That he disabled as well, and he couldn't figure out why his engine wasn't notching up anymore.
It's like the sound part of like CV29 is configuration. It configures a lot of stuff that has to do with how your sound decoder reacts.
Right. So he's doing this with CVs, and so we're coaching him as best we can, but he's trying his best not to read the manual.
Yeah,
He's really,
yeah.
So we keep encouraging him. Read the manual; it explains everything. But the point is that the BlueNami app will show you how to access all this stuff, so that you don't go and disable things inadvertently because you're checking boxes between this or that, selecting from a menu or whatever the case is. And so it makes just that part of the CV program properly.
In the event he had to reset it on the BlueNami, it's a lot simpler because
Yeah.
he can save his settings he had.
Yep, he can save it in
with
the
exception
BlueNami app.
of the, of course, with the one that's erroneous. But
Sure.
Yeah, but anyway, then it's simply just a matter of reapplying those after he does the reset. Gets
Yep.
it. Yeah, I've even gone to the point as far as getting him to read the manual, giving him the page number and the paragraph, and I'll even,
Yep.
So.
Well, so anyway, that's why I brought this out. Now I noticed your side of the track is empty. No more wishing
Got
of
the 20-ounce bottle of aspartame there, Diet Coke. But yeah, well, I've got some stuff that's working. We've been busy. We got back from the train show. We got out there an extra day. Got to meet a lot of great people at the train show, and but it did put me behind as far as a trip because I got back. We got back on Tuesday instead of Monday.
Yep.
So, but in the end of it, I have been getting some stuff done. The weather's been beautiful, so I've been out. I set my paint booth back up in the garage. So I've been painting.
Okay.
So the NW2, probably for the next podcast for sure, it'll be ready. Maybe the 1200. And then the GP15
that'd be
after
nice.
that. Yeah.
Because I thought you'd bring in something else more you were wishing to start on the project.
I thought about bringing that. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet. Once I open that thing up, it's mine. And
Yeah.
and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful engine. It's going to get converted to BlueNami if I keep it. So.
Nice. There you go. Cool. Well, we'll look forward to seeing the progress. I've got a couple of things that I've got to start on or finish, whichever way you want to look at it. So maybe by next time I'll have something new to show off as well.
Yeah, these are the ones I brought up last summer. That it's now finally I'm able to get the paint booth back out. Like I said, and get these the NW2 with the Ziegler coal on it. That's it'll be done this weekend.
Nice.
The SW1200 that I got from you that for the Crab Orchard Egyptian Railroad. That's the next one on it, and then the GP15 that I had. I ended up stripping that because there was one little spot on it I didn't like, and I just kept focusing on it. So I stripped it and repainted it. So so it got repainted.
Yep. That's good to hear because modeling is a skill and it needs constant refresh too.
It does. I mean, and isopropyl alcohol is still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So and you just dunk the shell in that, and 10 minutes later the paint's gone.
Yep.
And you just reprime it, clean it off real good with soap and water, and shoot it again.
Yep. There you go.
With paint.
With paint, hopefully.
Right. Yes. With paint.
So, well, anyway, so that's kind of it about the projects. And so, like I said, we're working through this process of going through the app,
great.
so be sure to check it out. This is actually one of my favorites. It's actually got 4 of our cube speakers in there.
It looks fantastic. The weathering is beautiful.
And I did all the lights on this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and screen record so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So screen record now. And on the screen, you can see I've got my functions listed out. And 15 to 28, I've got of course we have our headlight.
Right.
And I know the cameras are over here.
Right.
I did say cameras because we got a special guest waiting in the wings.
Yes.
But I'll show you pictures of these in the background around us, wherever. But we got the headlight on, then we got the front ditch lights. And then I illuminated the number boards separately. And then I know the BNSF engines didn't necessarily have the ground lights or the truck, what people call the truck lights. I put them on here because I like them. I wanted them on there.
Right.
And then I've got the courtesy lights, so the lights that are actually all the way around the walkways, and the step lights, so you can see those illuminated as well.
Yep.
And those I've used the NYX Loco lights.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't upset him. I mentioned them.
Oh, why? Does he get upset?
You don't like selling those Loco lights because they're a pain to do.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, those things are great, though. And
but they certainly are neat.
They come pre-wired. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to make them.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and since BNSF didn't have alternating flashing ditch lights, when you blow the horn, they don't flash. So they're on one lighting output. And so the walkway and courtesy lights and the step lights are actually on one lighting output as well. And the 4 step lights are wired in series, and then the 4 walkway, you get one on each side, one over here on the long hood, and then one over here above the brake wheel, which technically is a brake wheel status indicator.
Really?
There's 2 lights next to each other so that it illuminates which one. But when it's passing through the night, you only see the one.
Well, okay. Wow.
So I just figured, I'll light that one up.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, why not? You can do it.
But anyway, there's 20 what was it, 20 LEDs in this one, I think, is what I did.
And 4 speakers.
And there are 4 cube speakers, and so you really get that low end frequency. And one of the things, this is an Intermountain model. I chose that one because I liked the actual real chain on the brake wheel back here, as opposed to the plastic cast one that's split that rotates just so it's there. But one of the other things I did was I also drilled out the exhaust stack here.
Oh yeah.
And so the sound, I got 4 cube speakers right along the top here, and the sound can emanate out of the exhaust stack.
And those are series parallel.
Correct.
Those of you at home, those are series
so
parallel
2
wiring.
pairs of speakers are wired in series, and then another 2 speakers are wired in series, and then basically we parallel the pairs.
Right.
So it keeps it down to 8 ohms, but also now all 4 speakers are working together to reproduce those low frequencies, and now they can actually make it to your ears. It's one of my favorite engines that I have.
It looks great.
So
the weathering is just, like I said earlier, is just beautiful.
Yeah, did a good job. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, likewise, that's beautiful.
So, and you'll notice it's also got the reduced lower shelf couplers on it.
Yep.
But the only problem was I haven't done the magnetic air hoses and the magnetic MU cables yet.
Yeah,
that's still on the to-do list.
That's always the thing with the BN and the BNSF, I guess now too, is they had those lower shelf couplers.
Mm-hmm.
They call them, like the engines had the Type F. The old SD40s had the Type F on them.
Correct.
For their coal trains.
Yep. But these lower shelves are designed so if there is a derailment, it kind of locks them into place so that they're not climbing on each other.
Right.
So it's like, say for example, if something were here, it can climb up and come into the cab.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of these front pilots became called anti-climbers, because they were designed to try to help keep them from climbing up on top of each other during an accident.
Oh, you darn.
So, because if you remember the early Jeeps, it was just flush.
Right.
And then they started putting those porches out, like the early Jeep 15s, where they had that kind of a triangular nose out there. That was called an anti-climber.
Right.
And so that was designed to try to keep.
The early ones just like, well, from OPEC, anyway, no drop step, nothing, just straight flush pilot.
Yep.
Solid handrails.
Cheap as possible.
Yeah. But get Mopac's like no handrail chain, no drop step, but give us 4 extra jack pads.
Yeah.
We want 8 jack pads on our locomotives, but nothing else. No dynamic brakes, nothing.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So this is one of my vices. I call it my vice because it veers away from what I traditionally model, but it gives me some an avenue to expand and explore different things. And putting all the step lights and stuff all this. I was doing all this before a lot of these manufacturers have started doing it now.
Right.
So.
And they probably saw it and they thought, well, George is doing that. Well, that's a good idea.
I'm not going to say they didn't come over and take a look.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
So, but anyway, so that's fun. Well, anyway, I guess we've made our guest wait long enough.
Yeah,
he's kind of chomping at the bit. He's giving us eyes over here.
He's a great guy too. It's nice. I got to meet him at Amherst too.
Yeah. So with that, we'll bring in our special guest. We've got Tom Davey from Southeast Hobbies, located out in Georgia, correct?
Yeah, we're between Atlanta and Augusta.
Okay, so welcome, Tom, to the podcast. I know, we sure enjoy seeing you out at a lot of the train shows. We've seen you at Train Fest, and then of course at Amherst this last one. And I know we first met you back in 23 at the National Train Show.
Yep. That was like my second or third train show that Southeast Hobbies did. My wife and I started the business in the spring of 2023, and it's really taken off. And we're up to about 20 shows a year now.
Wow.
So we're on the road quite a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot of traveling. Hopefully you're catching your hotel points and stuff. Get all kinds of reward points for that.
Oh, yeah. Fortunately, my wife works, she also works for the Marriott Corporation.
Oh, okay. That helps. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what got you started out, and what kind of got your interest into starting the hobby shop? Because you said you were only 2 or 3 shows in at the train show in Dallas, or the National Train Show in Dallas, or Fort Worth, or Grapevine, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I actually was in corporate finance and banking for 35 years, and I retired in the spring of 2023. And I didn't really have much going at the time. I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And my wife, Carol, was talking to me, and she said, well, you've got a lot of model trains, and are you going to use all of them? And I had an Excel spreadsheet, and I had counted over 1,000 engines and probably about 5,500 pieces of rolling stock that I had acquired.
Wow.
20 some odd years. And so I just decided to go to a local trade show and just try to sell a few things. And I did. And then I did another show, and I brought more of my stuff. And then I met someone there that was also a dealer, and he encouraged me to do it full time. And so I signed up with some wholesale accounts. And next thing I knew, I had a website built, and I started this odyssey of going across the country, and also have a website now where we sell products to customers throughout the world, in fact. And here I am now with you two guys.
Yeah. Well, I know over the years you've been a really strong SoundTraxx retailer, and I think I've bought a couple of things over from you, and I know Tom's been trying to get something out of you.
I got a couple of things from him on off the website, and
okay.
Then at Amherst, actually, the NW2 has Tom's signature on it too, because the speaker and the electronics I bought from him, and he and his wife at the show, they're going in the NW2.
Oh, nice!
So which was, by the way, was an excellent display that he had. His setup at the show was just beautiful.
Yeah, you still bring that display where you have locos running on there, right?
Yes, I do. And Tom, you know what? I know you're looking for something. I think it was a Athearn Genesis, maybe a Jeep in the Blackbird scheme.
Yes.
George mentioned it, that you were saying something, and well, guess what?
Look what he found.
Oh, wow.
What I got here.
Ooh.
I have
beautiful.
This one's out of my personal collection, so
that
I
means
pulled
it's
it.
going to cost more, right?
List plus 10%.
There you go.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Deal. That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I bought two of his the two Redbirds that I got, the GP7s from Tom off the website, were out of his collection too. Those are Tsunami 2 equipped. They're going to be part of the podcast too eventually. I'm putting LEDs in those.
Oh, nice.
So I took the lights out and put the LEDs I'm leaving the Tsunami 2 in there for now, but because you can use that board, the V14 tab, and then just run all your comments to that, run it over, then put your LEDs in. But yeah, those two came from Tom as well. So he's my CB&Q connection.
There you go.
And my electronics guy, as far as my scale sound system between him and JT over there, I'm stocked up.
There you go. Well, now you're going to have to send him some money because he's teasing you with it.
That's no problem. I got it. Thank you. If it's for sale, I'll buy it.
Yeah, there you go.
Sir. Tom, sir.
Well, yeah, in fact, I just placed an order earlier today for some more SoundTraxx. It was extremely popular at Amherst, as well as, every show. I have I guess I would call it a mobile rack, where I have all the individual decoders, and I have them in numerical order by BlueNami and then Tsunami 2. And then I just started carrying your speaker line. Those have been extremely popular.
Yep.
And my only problem is keeping up with the inventory. I sell so many, and people have really, really gravitated towards that 4-amp BlueNami for the large scale engines.
Oh, yeah.
And, those are very hard for me to keep in stock because people will come up and they'll grab 4 or 5 of them. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I remember when I first started carrying them, I only carried one of each because they're very expensive.
Yeah.
But I think the utility of that decoder being 4-amp and plus with that BlueNami, people are really excited about that BlueNami decoder now because of the advantages it provides.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep preaching it because, like we talked about, we got people calling up all the time wanting to set CVs and they're wanting us to give them values, but they're not answering all the questions.
Right.
But the app walks you through. You just click this or that, and like I said, through menus and stuff, so you can really get that decoder dialed into the way you want it,
right,
rather than worrying about pushing the wrong button. Because I think a lot of people get nervous when it comes to CVs and stuff. So.
They do. The guy today called about the reverb. He on a BlueNami set the reverb. I said, well, put it on the main, turn it on, and go to that page. I told him how to get to the page, to that screen, and just adjust it, and then hit your horn or whatever. You can do it in real time instead of doing it trial and error.
Yeah.
You can do it with it on the track and right there, and it'll give you a play. It's playable right there on your phone. So.
Yep, absolutely. And I know go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to talk about when I first started using the SoundTraxx decoders years ago. I would take the engine out of the box, put it on the track, and run it. I was very happy with it. I loved the sound. And then years ago, my wife and I lived in California, in Southern California, and I joined the La Mesa Model Railroad Club. And one of the members I became friends with, he had a coal train on the main, right by the curve, the Tehachapi curve. And I was running that train, and it was just sitting there. And he said, "Hey, you got to try this out." And he goes, when you rev it up, when you start accelerating, the engine won't move." And I said, "Well, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's called manual notching." He said, it's a function that you can use with these SoundTraxx decoders. And I had watched a YouTube video on Tehachapi, and it absolutely mimicked what I saw in that video of the real thing. The engines were revving up and barely even moving, and it was the coolest thing. And that kind of opened my eyes to the functionality that these decoders have. And there's the read the manual, and then watch some of these videos that you guys do, and some of the other ones. It'll just open up a whole new world of model railroading, and it's just very cool stuff to actually be able to emulate the real thing.
And that enthusiasm, I'm sure, helps you sell decoders too, because you have that firsthand knowledge that you've used them, you've seen how they run. You can certainly use that as an experience to help sell them as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and that was that was one of the things. When I started this, I tried. I sat down and I tried to think, well, what's the value proposition that Southeast Hobbies has? Because there's a lot of places people can go. A lot of good retailers out there, and some of them are really good friends, and we go out to dinner and we talk. I always call it friendly competition.
Right.
And one of the things I wanted to be able to provide as best as I can is to have some sort of a knowledge base that people can come and ask questions, and I can answer some of the things that they're looking for. And most importantly, be very inviting and open with people. Unfortunately, I was a consumer for many, many years, and I've been to hobby shops where you walk in and the guy's just sitting down with his arms crossed, and kind of like an old curmudgeon, and doesn't even acknowledge my presence. And I wanted to spend money at the old brick and mortar shop, and they didn't say anything to give me the time of day, and I felt uncomfortable, and I wanted to provide something opposite of that. I wanted it to be welcoming, have a smile on my face. My wife, she's a very, very, very sweet person, and so we always try our best. Sometimes we all have off days, but 99% of the time, I think we're always willing to listen, answer questions, and it may not even be about the trains. Sometimes people ask about where we live in Georgia, and they'll say, "Wow, like if we're in Colorado at the Rocky Mountain Show, people say, "Oh, you came all the way from Georgia?" And I said, "Yeah," and I said, "It's a nice drive. It's all highway, and we really enjoy this." And someone that sat behind a desk for 35 years and looked at spreadsheets, presented, to senior management with all that stress involved with numbers and everything. This is great. I can't even tell you how much I enjoy it. The only thing I don't like is packing up on Sunday at those shows.
Yes.
That's the worst part. But otherwise, I love everything about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's one of the things why I think we're proud to partner with you, because you are that shining beacon out there. You really are exuberant. You're out talking to customers. I've never seen you without a smile on your face, even when the bill after dinner came.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you didn't have to order that tomahawk steak, George.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you said I'm buying, get whatever you want. I took advantage. But no, I think it's fantastic, and I'm really proud to see what you're doing out there. I think you're doing great work, and that's why I wanted to have you on here, because I think it's important that a lot of our customers especially see they have options and things like that, and especially somebody that's growing in the industry and doing it so well. All we ever hear is doom and gloom, and people are downsizing and stores are closing, and here we've got a great example of a business that's growing and getting bigger and does it with a smile, and that's the kind of stuff that attracts people.
Yeah, it gives the customer the service that you used to get.
Yep.
And not the curmudgeon, but the good customer service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said earlier, he had a first class display. His booth, it was just beautiful, Tom. I mean, the merchandise, everything, the SoundTraxx thing looked like at that time, because we were running that promotion, that $5 rebate. We were sending them over there, so it looked like locusts had hit it. So, but it still was just beautiful. I mean, and there, Tom and his wife both were there. Very nice people. Like I said, I got the things I needed, and except for the Jeep 7, but
well, it's coming. Apparently.
I know. Apparently, yeah. That's why I said, "Hey." He goes, "Oh yeah."
He's dangling the carrot out there.
There you go. Yeah, that was it. Yes.
Which is funny to me. I always laughed.
Me too in it, Tom.
It's already ready to go. It's got LEDs, so it's already ready to go.
There you go.
That would look nice bracketed between those two Redbirds.
Yeah, it would. Nice mixed train.
There's something about that. I mean, I'm a Mopac guy, but what my hometown of West Frankfort had, the CB&Q came in from the west and serviced the second largest coal mine in the world, or Old Bin number 9, was 2 blocks from my house. So the Q came through there, and those engines were just looked like that. Pulling coal trains with beautiful engines like that, nothing against Mopac, but they were painted blue and you're done. That's it.
Yep.
That took time to paint those things. Yeah. So.
And this is one of the things about being in the business now. There's so many cool things coming out.
Yes.
And I grew up outside of Chicago, and I actually grew up in Hammond, Indiana. And my mom and dad's house was right off the Erie-Lackawanna main line that went into Chicago. So I'm a big Erie-Lackawanna fan. And so when the Erie-Lackawanna stuff comes out, I'm always grabbing a few things for myself. And my wife's Carol's like saying, wait, I thought we were supposed to be selling this stuff. We are. And then, of course, I also like Rock Island. I like the old Granger roads, especially Rock Island. And there's just some really cool stuff coming out now. And it's just amazing how nice the details are, the realism, the prototypical components of these models is just amazing. And one of the things I like to do is weathering. And I was doing it for customers, and I would take weathered engines to shows, and in fact, you can see some of my paint behind me.
Oh, I had my eye on the paint.
Yes.
But finding the time is getting more and more difficult, because my business is doing better. And in fact, just talking about the popularity of the hobby itself, and like I said, I do 20 train shows a year. And I can tell you from absolute certainty that there's more people going to shows every year that I've done this. And our business is going up. At the same show, over 3 years, double-digit increases. And so that gives you an idea of the popularity of the hobby. Right. And I don't see that when people say the hobby is dying, and I think people are probably saying that for 50 years, but I don't know. And I see a lot of young people too at the shows.
Yes,
including the little ones that they'll go to Thomas the Tank and those other things, and where they just push the play trains around. Mm-hmm. That's how people get into the hobby, and I'm really grateful for some of the dealers that bring that kind of stuff to the shows, because it attracts younger kids into the hobby, and then then they ask for a train set, and then next thing then they're talking about, hey, what about that BlueNami system for my train? I don't have to buy a DCC system. I can just get a decoder and have sound. Yeah, it's cool.
Yep. Like I said, it's a great time to be in the hobby, because you've got, like we talked about, the BlueNami. You don't even have to buy the DCC systems. You just power the layout. Right. You've got incredible models coming out with all the different companies. And if you don't have something that's out that you want to model, wait a minute. Somebody will come probably announce it.
That's right.
I mean, like, for example, Mopac modelers, I never thought anybody would do a mass-produced Shorty Bay window caboose.
Right. We've got a couple of them on the market.
And now we got a couple of them on the market. You got the Blueford shops, and then you got the Bachman ones.
Yep.
And then now, honestly, Athern's doing that CA11 copy, the UP copy, that Shorty Bay window.
And they've got a KO&G International Standard caboose coming out.
Yeah,
which there's, Mopac had those. They inherited them from the KO&G.
Yeah. So it's a great time to be in the hobby.
It sure is. It sure is.
So here's my question. So since you retired, have you started a layout? Have you started building anything, or are you just still trying to sell everything off?
That is a great question. And someone that I know, Fred Hill from the Whistle Stop and the Coach Yard.
Yep.
I met him when we were living out in Southern California.
Yep.
And he came by the booth at the first Amherst show, and he was like, "Wow, what happened?" He goes, I thought you were in banking." I said, "Well, I was, but I retired." And he goes, "Well, that's great." He goes, "Well, one thing I got to tell you is don't let it take over your life to the point where you don't enjoy the hobby anymore, because this is a business, and it requires a lot of time." Yep. And he's absolutely right. And I do have a very large bonus room above our garage. It's 34 by 24, and I've been an HO guy all my life. But I got to tell you, the end scale, the quality of end scale now is really incredible. It never looked like that when I was getting back in the hobby about 25 years ago.
Right.
You can get so much more railroad in the same amount of space, but I'll probably stick with HO just because it's what I know and it's what I've always been in. But yes, I have a kind of a rough track plan, and I got some friends up in Chicago that said that they're going to come down and help me with the bench work to get this thing up and running. And then there's always clubs too that you can join.
Sure.
That's how I've been able to enjoy the hobby, because I moved around a lot for my job.
Sure.
Yes. The layout is in my near future, George.
Yeah. Well, having been myself in the working here a little over 17 years, I agree with that statement. Don't let your business or your work interfere with the enjoyment of the hobby, because it can be. And I've done both sides of that coin. Right. To the point where I get home, I don't even want to look at trains. And then there's now, and then I was like, you know what? No, this is what drives me. This is what makes it fun. And so I got myself back into it. And so I use advice from a friend of mine, famous model railroader, Stephen Priest. He told me once upon a time, first off, he didn't watch TV. He didn't watch any of that stuff. He said, but if you don't feel like model railroading, go into the room, drill a hole, leave. Yeah. Because you're making progress. Even though you just drilled that one hole, you still made progress, and that's one less hole you have to do later. And you may have a week of just drilling a hole, but by the time, next thing you know, you've got all the holes for the grab iron drilled on a body shell in a matter of a week or so, but you've still made progress. Now, you're like, wait, all the holes are drilled. Now all I got to do is put the grab irons in. Now you start getting a little bit more excited again. And so I followed that philosophy, at least over the past 10 years. And and it's brought I enjoy the hobby, and it's just, it helps me at my job too, because I don't feel like I'm talking to customers. I feel like I'm talking to friends, and just like you, we're here, we're happy to help and enjoy the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I think that's a really good mantra that Stephen was talking about, is not watching TV. Yeah. I always used to watch a lot of TV, especially the news. And my wife, Carol, she's never watched the news, and she's never been a really big TV person. And so I've kind of gravitated away from that. I don't even watch as much sports as I used to, because there's just so many other things I want to do. Mm-hmm. And especially when you get older, it's important to get off the couch and be active and do things. And that's the thing I've seen. My dad, unfortunately, when he retired, he sat on the couch, and that was not a good outcome for him. And so that's the one thing I want to make sure that I do, is stay active. And this business keeps me active, I'll tell you that, because somebody's got to set it all up and take it down. Yep. And then plus, and I get invited to a lot of club layouts too. Mm-hmm. And I love running trains. And so it's fun to be able to get out there and run on these various layouts throughout the country, and it's very cool. It
is. That's awesome. Well, it's great. It's great to have you in the SoundTraxx fold and selling the product, and great partnership with you. So I encourage everybody to check them out. Where can they find you?
Yeah, it's www.southeasthobbies.com, and email is info@southeasthobbies.com.
Okay. And on your website, do you have a list of shows you're going to, or?
I need to add that. That's one of the, it's like, remember the old Ed Sullivan show? He had a guy on there. Remember, entertainment 50 years ago wasn't like it is today. And he had a guy on there. He started spinning a plate on a little, like a dowel rod. And then he would go and spin all these plates. And then by the time he got that last one spinning, that one in the front started to wobble, and he had to run back and start spinning that one again. And that's how it is here.
Totally understand.
Website, there's ordering, there's maintenance, there's fulfillment, there's trade shows. And so that's something I really do need to do. We do try to post on our Facebook page the shows that we're going to be going to next. But speaking of the website, one of the things that I decided to do, in fact, this is as of today, on all SoundTraxx products on the website, it's free shipping always.
There you go.
Anyone wants to order any of the SoundTraxx, and it's just on SoundTraxx products, that it's free shipping. Decoders, speakers, which I have to get on the website, and the Keep Alives and everything else. But I do have the full line of decoders on there now, but anything SoundTraxx will always ship free.
Awesome. Well, that's great, guys. So go visit them, southeasthobbies.com, and your Facebook page, just search Southeast Hobbies.
Southeast Hobbies LLC, because somebody else had Southeast Hobbies on Facebook.
Huh. Okay. Well, now you know how to find them. So go out there, support Tom and his wife. Great folks. And like I said, they've got a great inventory. They made Tom a happy person here
multiple times.
So
I mean, it's just a first class hobby shop, and especially the setups at the show. If you guys go out there, Tom and his wife's got just about everything you'd want: structures, locomotives, freight cars, electronics, you name it, he's got it.
So be sure to go visit them. So Tom, thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed it, and appreciate you sticking around and being on here with us.
Thanks, George. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So with that, looks like we're running a little bit longer than normal, so we'll go ahead and sign off on this. So next time we'll have to make sure we bring some projects to put on the table here.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the NW2's got my Southeast Hobbies speakers in it, and electronics, and then paint.
Yeah,
Tom's going to be represented on the track here next week.
You can put his logo down, like on the front of the nose or something like that.
I got his card and stickers too.
There you go.
I got the swag and everything while I was there. I went first rate.
Yeah. So speaking of swag, we have stuff on our website as well. You got the SoundTraxx tumbler.
Right.
You got the little stuffed dog.
Yeah.
And we still have the SoundTraxx hats. So
and we got some leftover Christmas ornaments too for
We
next
should have
year.
some
You know,
Christmas
for
ornaments.
those of you that don't take your direct decorations down, we still have them in stock.
Yep. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to go to the website and check them out. So
Right.
with that, we'll go ahead and sign off, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been fun and entertaining for you. We certainly enjoy doing this. So check in, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to follow us on the YouTube channel where we post videos every week, like we talked about.
Daily.
Going through the, well, it seems like daily, but yeah, at least the informative videos, the short form informational videos post at least every week. So,
And those of you interested in BlueNami, check out George's new series with this engine, the deep dive into the BlueNami operations and programming, because it's the way to go.
that's it.
Yep.
So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.